Let's begin from the courts. The Director of Legal Administration at the National Communications Authority, Abena, has submitted to the Commercial Court hearing the case of the Republic versus Eugene Bafuboni and 4 others that she was never privy to a contract document covering the procurement agreement between the NCA and Infralux Development Limited. Asafo-Adjei made these disclosure when she was called as the first prosecution witness of the state in the trial of the 5 accused persons. Wilberforce Asari was in court for us and he has joined us via telephone. So Wilberforce, tell us more about today's proceedings.
Well, so Mrs. Asafo-Adjei, who until recently was reinstated as the Director of Legal Administration of NCA, indicated to the court that when it comes to contractual agreements that the NCA enters into, she, as the leader of the legal department, is the custodian of all contractual documents. However, this particular contract between the company that is said to have been contracted by the board chair and several other persons to supply certain equipment to the NCA was not submitted to her office, nor was it worked on by her office. And so she did not in any way know that such contractual agreement had been reached by the National Communication Authority together with this Israeli company, which is now being questioned by the state. As I speak with you currently in court, she is still being led to give her evidence in chief by the Director of Public Prosecution, Madam Yvonne Accra-Ghana. Now, before the trial started, the lawyers for the defense team, now 5 defense lawyers, all 5 defense lawyers indicated to the court that certain documents that they had requested from the Attorney General was not given to them and that they were seeking for an adjournment of the case. However, Justice Eric Bafo did not subscribe to the application by these lawyers. He insists that the trial process must start because there are timelines within which he is working and he must make sure that he executes this trial. So now currently the trial is ongoing. Mrs. Asafo-Adjei is still answering questions from the Director of Public Prosecution.
Do we know the number of witnesses the state prosecutors are likely to call to the stand for the case?
Well, so the state prosecutors did not indicate to the court how many prosecution witnesses they intend to call. However, if you look at the details of the case, it is possible that several persons will be called to act as witnesses spanning from different jurisdictions, particularly if you look at the fact that the first place they have called a witness is the NCA. There is also the issue about the company that they dealt with. And so it appears that at least some 3 prosecution witnesses will be called in addition to Madam Asafo-Adjei, who is the first witness to have been called in this trial. Abena.
Wilberforce, this case is one of particular interest to the opposition NDC. Have you cited any of their leading members in court?
Well, so today, there is no well-known person in the National Democratic Congress who is in court. However, there are known lawyers who side with the National Democratic Congress, and most of them have appeared in court today just to be witnesses to the trial which has begun. They are not in any way involved in the case, but they are sitting in the court just to hear proceedings. But there is no visible political figure that I can point to as being present in the court. Abena.
Wilberforce Asari, thank you very much, and we'll bring you all the happenings in the court later this evening on News Tonight. Let's move on. The Ghana Police Service has begun investigations into the arrest of 3 persons in connection with some explosives at Odorkor in Accra. The explosives, which were seized based on police intelligence, were 7.
In a statement signed by the Director of Police Public Affairs, ACP David Eklu, 3 persons' names withheld have also been arrested in connection with the intercepted explosive and are in police custody. Police is investigating the matter in coordination with the relevant agencies and therefore assures the public to remain calm. Police is continuously working to ensure public safety. A statement released by the police service indicates that the police is investigating the matter together with relevant agencies and would update the public subsequently. It is also stated that anyone with information related to the case should not hesitate to contact the police.
And the police service is addressing the media on this development. Shortly, we will link up to our reporters at the police headquarters and bring you an update on what the police has been saying. Now, there was drama at the offices of the Deputy Commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Georgina Opoku-Amankwa. A team of security personnel detailed from the Economic and Organized Crime Office, led by its executive director, stormed her office to force her out, but she would not budge. William Evans Inkum was there and has filed this report.
I didn't want to comply with the leave because the mode of my appointment. Yeah. But later on, a lawyer who represented my my lawyer, suggested that, oh, let's comply because if anything, it's not going to take any. And knowing that I had done nothing untoward, I complied and then proceeded on leave. And that had been since 10th July.
Moments before the team from Iyoko stormed her office, the relentless commissioner said she would not vacate her office until the president directs her to do so.
I'm not going home. The president should write to me to go home.
Few minutes after the interview, the executive director of Iyoko, KK Amwa, led a team of armed policemen to force her out, a tensed atmosphere. But the commissioner seems unperturbed as she engaged some unknown persons on phone to narrate happenings at her office.
So 5 more I may pump. Me say I'm in my seat. I'm closing at 5. My office.
Even not intimidated by the security presence.
I close at 5. It's not 5.
Iyoko has written to lawyers of Madam Georgina Opoku-Amankwa in a letter dated January 8, 2018. The subject, Endowment Fund Investigations, Resumption of Official Duty. Your letter, under reference, acknowledged that your client was directed to proceed on leave as a result of matter involving the Staff Endowment Fund at the Electoral Commission, which is under investigation. In paragraph 3 of your letter, you admit that the matter has been referred to the Attorney General's Department for advice. Investigation is said to be complete when an advice is received from the Attorney General's Department. Your client and others are not on leave because of the petition before Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice. You will do your client good service if you patiently wait for the advice from the Attorney General's office. Let's follow due process, unquote. KK Amwa would not speak to the media but looked on thinking of what action to take next. Later, one of the deputy commissioners, Amadou Sule, walked into the room and the media were asked to leave, perhaps to break the standoff.
And we'll have some conversations on the development at the Electoral Commission. We want to look at whether it will affect the Commission's operations, of course, with the District Assembly elections upcoming. So we'll do that in a bit. But let's head to the police headquarters here in Accra, where the police is addressing the media. But right before we do that, if you have any comment on any of the stories we brought to you so far, here are our social media handles if you'd want to send it to us. And we are back. And so yesterday, 3 persons were arrested. They were found to be possessing some explosives. We do not know much about these people yet, but the police is addressing the media. And so let's cross over to the police headquarters and listening to that press encounter.
And I also want to know the argument that you believe the explosives are grenades or something like that. I want to get from whether have you been able to confirm, say that we can put it in our report that it has been confirmed by the IDP that the explosives that were, when you arrested the suspect, the explosives, it has been confirmed that they are grenades by the IDP.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so the Inspector General of Police is addressing the media there. We're having some technical challenges, but we'll try and work it out and return to the police headquarters in due course. Right now, let's take a break. We'll return with more stories. Do stay with us.
There is a certain satisfaction that comes from hearing the real story from the horse's own mouth when a story breaks or is developing.
There are many enterprises of life that the Nanado government will fail.
This business about fighting corruption, we should move it away from the corridors of parliament and confront the greater matter outside there.
State of Affairs will be bringing you exactly that. We'll go eye to eye, face to face and head to head with the newsmakers at the heart of a story that is breaking or developing to unravel the intricate and minute details of the issues.
State of Affairs, now showing this and every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. But State of Affairs is proudly sponsored by Verna Natural Mineral Water. A lot goes on around us every day. Sometimes traditional news outlets cannot capture it the very second it happens. But you have a phone that has a camera, so you have the power. Give us your account of the most depressing and interesting stories in your community. When it happens and you're there, you report it to 0551 433 055. When you see something, say something. Share it on 055 143 3055. MTN Video Report, Mondays and Thursdays on Newsroom, in association with
MTN, everywhere you go.
The story of love, betrayal and revenge gets more intriguing and exciting. When a man's heart is bent on a brutal revenge, it surely becomes his sin and weakness, especially when it involves the woman he loves.
How about my brother Rafael? Why isn't he as lucky?
Listen, what on earth does Rafael have to do with this, Geronimo? Explain to me, because I don't understand. I don't understand why your life has to depend on your dead brother. Carlos, I didn't even know Rafael. How else would I know La Bonita? Listen, I didn't know his brother, even in a photograph. I don't know. Do you have a picture of him?
Timeless love intrigues all your senses to relate with the characters, love and hate them at the same time as they evolve and go through love, disappointments, betrayal, revenge, sadness and new beginnings.
And only you and I will know that my son's real father is Rafael.
But Rafael is already dead. And Matias must always believe that your son is Hieronymus.
When my pregnancy becomes obvious, then people will think it's a product of our love.
It's not a product of our love. It's from that imbecile Geronimo. And I'm hiding the truth for you.
Don't miss any of the episodes of Timeless Love, showing from Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m. and repeated every weekday at 10 a.m.
You put happiness back into my life.
What changed? Why do you act like this? What did I do to you?
Timeless Love is proudly brought to you by Indomie Instant Noodles, Gino, My Dear Rice, Amalina Children's Haven, Uber Spaghetti, Frattle,
Magical is magic.
And new.
Thank you for staying with us here on GHOne TV. Now, we've been joined via telephone by a political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Edward Brenya. Now, he has joined us because of the happenings at the Electoral Commission. We are having a conversation on the back of developments there. Dr. Brenya, thank you for joining us on Newsroom. Quite an interesting spectacle at the EC yesterday. It had to take a whole Iyoko boss to get Madam Opoku Amankwa out. What are your thoughts on what happened yesterday?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone listening from. I think that it's unfortunate that the time where we need to build confidence in the Electoral Commission, all these allegations are coming out, and we see more and more of a drama at the Electoral Commission. I think individuals, irrespective of our position, need to know that we are account of law, and when we work for the history of law, then of course we should have to ourselves to the rule of law. In this process, litigation, I think that needs to be, and we don't have to stop stress of those sort of things to happen. I think it does go to sort of, in a way, create the security of the Electoral Commission in the minds of people, and given that very soon we may be having the election, I don't think it is for
the issues at the Electoral Commission, the allegations, the counter-allegations, and the investigations, they've panned out for quite some time now. How would you rate government's handling of the whole issue of our electoral management body?
You see, the problem with our country this time is how things get politicized. Because of the politicization, instances where government or say the right decision are supposed to have done the right thing, you see that it doesn't go on well. I think that there's too much politics in the handling of activities of the Electoral Commission. I believe strongly that government can do better than what is going on. And of course, the officials themselves should forget about their affiliation or linkages to people of power, political parties, and avail themselves. At the end of the day, if the investigation and other things are done and they are cleared, it goes to boost their credibility and the image of the EC. So I think both government and Electoral Commission officials themselves need to do better than what is going on right now.
But will this have any impact on the operations of the Electoral Commission, bearing in mind the district level elections which are supposed to take place?
I don't expect that what is going on should have impact in terms of administrative work, but psychologically, because the Electoral Commission deals with human beings in terms of voting and everything. The psychological impact is what is going to affect their activity. I would expect that to a certain level, if things are not normalized, by the time we are doing the local level elections, we should see skirmishes of the happening being brought down on the process.
Doc, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Dr. Edward Brenya is a political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The governing New Patriotic Party is organizing a news conference here in Accra. Nabil Ahmed Rufai is my colleague, and he joins us live from the NPP headquarters. Nabil, what has the party been saying?
Basically, the party was inaugurating its reviewed constitution. You realize that they had a conference some time back, and as part of the conference, they were supposed to review their constitution based on some inputs that were made and suggestions that were made by their members. And today, acting Deputy General Secretary John Boedu actually inaugurated the reviewed constitution. Now, there's been some changes in the constitution as expected, and key amongst them is that now the Nasara branch of the party is now going to be a wing of the party, just as is made with the youth wing and the women's wing. What that means is that the Nasara is going to have elections at the constituency level, at the regional level, as well as at the national level. So the Nasara coordinator will be elected, and then 2 other coordinators will then be appointed. This is one of the key review of the constitution. Also, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, or any other president that would come thereafter from the party will become member of the steering committee. Previously, it was not so. The president would just be the flag bearer of the party. But then, this time around, he's going to be a member of the steering committee. What this means is that he will be also part of, when the party is taking a decision and requires voting, the president has a right to vote on the committee. Aside that, there's been changes within the disciplinary committee as well. You realize that during the suspension of the former chairman, Paul Afoko, and also the general secretary and other party members, the case was sent to court, and it has to do with issues revolving around the party's constitution. And based on that, there was a key issue where it was in contention whether Gifty Pusi was supposed to have been appointed as a member of the committee from Parliament.
All
now,
right.
they're saying that this time around, a group from Parliament would have the option of appointing 2 people to be part of the disciplinary committee, and 1 would have to be a woman. So these are all in efforts to prevent an occurrence of what happened previously when some members of the party were dismissed from the party. Now, they also went further to talk about the National Delegate Conference of the party, which is expected to be held in June, on the 15th to 17th of June this year.
All right, Nabil, the last time there was an activity at the NPP headquarters, some journalists were allegedly assaulted. The General Secretary made mention of any of this?
No, nothing of the sort was mentioned. Basically, today it was to talk about the reviewed constitution of the party and other plans the party has regarding its National Delegate Conference, as well as the regional and constituency conference.
Thank you very much. Nabil Ahmed Rufai joined us from the NPP's headquarters. They've been addressing the media on some amendments they've made to their constitution following their delegates' conference some weeks back. This is Newsroom on GHOne TV. Let's take a break here. We'll be back. Do stay with us.
General Nizer of the NPP.
The story of love, betrayal, and revenge gets more intriguing and exciting. When a man's heart is bent on a brutal revenge, it surely becomes his sin and weakness, especially when it involves the woman he loves.
How about my brother Rafael? Why isn't he as lucky?
Listen, what on earth does Rafael have to do with this, Geronimo? Explain to me, because I don't understand. I don't understand why your life has to depend on your dead brother. Carlos, I didn't even know Rafael. How else would I know La Bonita? Listen, I didn't know his brother, even in a photograph. I don't know. Do you have a picture of him?
Timeless love intrigues all your senses. To relate with the characters, love and hate them at the same time as they evolve and go through love, disappointments, betrayal, revenge, sadness, and new beginnings.
And only you and I will know that my son's real father is Rafael.
But Rafael is already dead. And Matias must always believe that your son is Hieronymus.
When my pregnancy becomes obvious, then people will think it's a product of our love.
It's not a product of our love. It's from that imbecile Geronimo. And I'm hiding the truth for you.
Don't miss any of the episodes of Timeless Love showing from Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m. and repeated every weekday at 10 a.m.
You put happiness back into my life.
What changed? Why do you act like this? What did I do to you?
Timeless Love is proudly brought to you by Indomie Instant Noodles, GHOne, My Dear Rice, Amalina Children's Haven, Uber Spaghetti, Frattle,
Magical, Ace Magic,
and New Life Cream.
A lot goes on around us every day. Sometimes traditional news outlets cannot capture it the very second it happens. But you have a phone that has a camera, so you have the power. Give us your account of the most depressing and interesting stories in your community. When it happens and you're there, you report it to 0551 433 055. When you see something, say something. Share it on 055 143 3055. MTN Video Report, Mondays and Thursdays on Newsroom, in association with
MTN, everywhere you go.
You're welcome back to Newsroom. Now, the Millennium Excellence Foundation, organizers of the Ghana Expatriate Business Awards, has once again insisted access to President Akufo-Addo was not sold to the highest bidder during the awards ceremony. Taking their turn at the 5-member ad hoc committee investigating the matter, chairman for the foundation, Victor Beho, and President Ashim Morton each shred into pieces the evidence presented by the committee by the minority. Ambassador Beho insisted the foundation did no wrong in the partnership with the Trade Ministry in the organization of the event.
The foundation did not participate nor encouraged any stratagem to steal money from any businessman or government. On the other hand, the Millennium Excellence Foundation appreciated the purposes of the scheme that we developed together with the Ministry of Trade and Industries.
Ashim Morton accused the minority of forgery in attaching a letter from the Trade Ministry to the experts with the sponsorship packages. The MEF president took members of the committee through a presentation of the sitting arrangements, emphasizing nobody was charged based on proximity to the president. Contrary to earlier claims by Trade Minister Alan Kyerematen that only 17 people sat by the president, Mr. Morton said the figure was rather 20.
Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry made a statement that 17 seats were on the high table. I'd like to make a small correction. When he mentioned all the names, he mentioned the former president and head of state, John Rawlings, and his wife. That is 2. So that makes that 18. Now, he did not mention our chairman, Ambassador Beho, and he did not mention Joe Mensah from Cosmos. So if you add those 2 with the former First Lady, it becomes 20.
There were some heated exchanges between a member of the committee, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, and lawyer for the foundation, Charles Wenes, in an attempt to extract some answers from his clients during today's hearing.
We came very prepared, as you can see, to clarify all the uncertainty around cash for seats at our event. We're not here prepared for going through registration documents, which I assure you are all very much in order.
But if you look at our terms of reference and related matters.
Relevant related matters, I presume, sir.
Yes, that is true. And counsel, if you be patient with me, you will understand why I'm building my case, starting with the registration. Is that okay?
It's okay to build your case, Mr. Chairman.
The hearing continues tomorrow with members of the expatriate business community bailed to appear. And so that was the wrap of yesterday's proceedings. But today, there was no show because the experts did not appear before the committee. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, has joined me in the studio. Ibrahim, do we know the specific businessmen who were supposed to appear before the committee?
Almost all the expatriate businesses that were mentioned in the course of the proceedings of this particular committee. So there's Japan Motors, there's Dream Realty, among others. And those that also showed up during the GEBA event, the awardees and so on and so forth, had all been given letters by the committee, specifically stating that 10 a.m. today, they're supposed to make a showing in Parliament and appear before the committee to give their testimonies. However, at about 15-20 minutes past 11, none of the expatriates, none of those invited had showed up. So what happened was that the committee was forced to come and brief the media who were present that, listen, we invited these people to come and give testimonies before us. None of them has showed up. So we are adjourning sitting and re-engage them, first of all, to find out the reason why they didn't show up, and then also agree on a later date so we can still hear from them concerning this matter at hand.
But you are in Parliament. These people were indeed invited through verbal communication or written invitations. Let us in on that.
Written invitation. And yesterday, even before the proceedings ended, the chairman for the committee, our chairman, mentioned that outside those who had been specifically invited, if you are an expatriate businessman or woman and you believe your testimony can help the committee unravel the matters at hand, you should show up. So it's not limited to only those foreign businesses that had been given written invitations. Yes, so to answer your question directly, yes, written invitations were extended to these business communities.
Why do you think they refused to show up? Is it because of what transpired at the committee when the organizers showed up?
Partly so, but what we know and confirm up on authority is that they are not so enthused about appearing before the cameras. So they are in a way requesting for in-camera hearing. They don't want the media coverage when they appear before the committee. And that's an option that is also available to them. Even all the other witnesses who have appeared before the committee, if they had put in that request, that listen, we don't want cameras here, we don't want the live media coverage, the committee is obliged to consider that request on its merit. So after proceedings, we engaged a spokesperson for the committee, and he said that, listen, yes, it's something they've also heard, and that once that request is put in officially, they will evaluate it on its merit. And if they need it will be granted. So the media coverage is not allowed for them to come in and give their testimony and help the committee unravel the matter at hand, basically.
But really, why these fears? This matter is already out in the public, and people really impressed upon the speaker to make these proceedings public. And now you would want an in-camera hearing.
Yes, I'm sure the reason is because of the sensitive nature of the matter. They are businessmen, and regardless of whichever way their testimonies go, there could be that political victimization. Given the fact that, listen, most of the documents that the minority tendered in evidence are being questioned, the authenticity of these documents. First, they were questioned by Trade Minister Alan Kojo-Chomachin. Yesterday, the officials of the Millennium Excellence Foundation also questioned the genuineness of these documents. And these documents, according to the minority, they received from these experts. So if indeed the experts are supposed to show up and then corroborate the story of the minority or do otherwise, then you can avert your mind to the sensibilities involved here and how sensitive the matter is. Not just that monies were paid, we told, but the explanation is that these monies were not to grant access to the president. I'm sure these are the questions that will be put to the experts once they show up. So their testimony will go to the crux of this matter, basically. So I think these, among other things, are the reasons why they want an in-camera hearing, just so you and I do not victimize them unnecessarily, basically.
And so what next? How soon does the committee expect
the
to hear from them?
According to the chairman, is indefinitely, and that they will re-engage the experts, and once they firm up on a new date, that will be done. But however, if they don't show up willingly, the committee has the powers to summon them. So the committee can forcefully ask them to appear before the committee can do that. So aside that, once they re-engage them and they are comfortable with the date, but another thing that will happen is that the committee has been given a deadline of 24th of this month to present its report, and that's less than a week away. So therefore, in our engagement with Yabo Abiansama, he was saying that they might have to request for extension of that period, given the fact that they are not even done with taking testimonies, not even talk about compiling the reports, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Abena.
Well, we'll see how that goes, but thank you very much. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, and the news is that the experts who were part of the Business Awards, the Expatriate Business Awards, which has been tagged now as the Cash for Seats scandal, failed to show up at the committee, and their sit-ins have been adjourned indefinitely. Right now, let's return to the police headquarters, where my colleague Samuel Lancelot Boateng is standing by with details of that briefing by the IGP. Hello, Lancelot.
Yeah, hello, Abena.
What has the IGP been saying?
All right, so speaking to you live from the police headquarters, IGP David Asante appeared to have been updating the media on what led to the arrest of the suspects who were in possession of a suspected, weapon. And as I speak to you, they are about to investigate whether it's a grenade or otherwise. But then they are unable to give much information about this whole thing, given how sensitive and then the magnitude of the things happening. But they are saying that they are creating, a website. So in future, if the public have any information of this sort, they can, go to the website, put the information over there. Because it's a tip-off that led to the arrest of these suspects who are in police custody at the moment. We are unable to say much because, given the sensitive nature of the issue, they are saying that they're going to investigate the matter as a thing, whether it's a grenade or otherwise.
All right, thank you very much. Samuel Lancelot Boateng joined us from the police headquarters in Accra, where the police is still investigating those explosives that were confiscated from some 3 persons who are now in custody. And let's move on. As the University of Ghana's $217 million medical facility is yet to begin operations following disagreement over the legitimate manager of the facility, the health minister says it is resolute. The health ministry, rather, says it is resolute to oversee the operation of the center. It follows a report by acting CEO of the University of Ghana Medical Center, Professor Aaron Lawson, that the university will not cede management of the newly built hospital to the health ministry as ordered by the president. However, Public Relations Officer of the Health Ministry, Robert Kujo, says the recruitment of some 13,000 staff for the facility by the University of Ghana may pose a huge challenge to the health sector, as attempts to privatize operations of the facility will not benefit the taxpayer.
The first phase of the University of Ghana Medical Center, which was completed in November 2016 and subsequently commissioned by former President John Mahama, was expected to begin operation in October 2017. But this did not happen following a new development where the Ministry of Health was ordered to oversee the management of the facility. The University of Ghana, which is the interim management of the medical center, has however not complied with the directive and intends to continue managing the facility. It is so far in the process of recruiting 13,000 staff for the facility. Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health, Robert Kujo, says the directive from the President must be complied with because all health facilities within the country must fall under the Ministry of Health, hence the decision to oversee the activities of the University of Ghana Medical Center.
The facility has been built. It's an unmovable property. Nobody is taking it. The whole idea is that the Ministry of Health should have overall or oversight responsibility of this new facility, just like it has for all other hospitals, so that the government will be known of what goes on there, what is being done and all that. Because after all, when it comes to training and then recruitment, it's the same health ministry.
Robert Kujo also revealed that the privatization of the facility, as the University of Ghana seeks to do, may not benefit the taxpayer.
If you look at the list of those who have gone through this recruitment exercise, if care is not taken, we will create vacuums and most of our major hospitals, because a lot of the names on their list, I'm told, are people who are already working in some of our major hospitals. So if we don't streamline, if we don't look at this critically and just let it go as it is, all the specialized doctors will just move in here. I mean, there may be a vacuum and we may even have a crisis on our hands. So all this must be looked at.
In 2012, government signed a contract with Messrs Engineering and Development Consultant EDC of Israel to build the first phase of the facility and hand it over to the university. The university designated 400 acres of land for the entire project.
Now, the dream of a 17-year-old girl to be a doctor or lawyer could be cut short due to a condition she suffers. Adiza Adamu has neurofibromatosis, an illness which has left her left leg swollen for 5 years. Until a surgery is done to correct the defect, young Adiza and her poor mother will continue to face stigma and discrimination in a society that sees her condition as a spiritual problem. Alice Aite has more.
17-year-old Adiza Adamu dropped out of school at age 11 and in class 5 due to neurofibromatosis, a genetic disorder that causes tumors to form on nerve tissues. Some of Adiza's classmates made fun of her, causing her to drop out of school. She now helps her mother to prepare porridge, known in the local parlance as Hausa Cocoa, to sell in their community. Abandoned by almost everybody, Adiza, after helping with the chores at home, plays around with her younger siblings who, unlike strangers, welcome her in spite of her condition. She tells me the condition has left her in so much pain as it is difficult to stand on her feet for long.
So my juma me call na my bra and the yammy say me go one place paying me ya.
Adiza's biggest dream growing up was to become a doctor or lawyer, but it seems that is being cut short by the genetic condition neurofibromatosis.
I'm person doctor. I mean share omo nibi. Mama we joe money a dear, me person doctor, na me share some colani be. Me and me coscona am semi swimming cosconi be.
So in your school and cover call
Pachini.
Hajara Zakari, Adiza's mother, tells me she noticed her daughter had a problem with her leg when she was about 7 years old. She, however, did not send her to the hospital, but took her to a herbalist who directed that they wait till the girl grows before starting any treatment, and that is what caused the swelling of the leg to become bigger.
Because sometimes me share me baya, me suwa me ndina mata. Ana senior Otino, men person may be obese or not to sign into me in a torturing. me boni pa nyame ne boni pa nti me ntumi anyi ne totwene ba se ne onko school a otifie ne awadu kra me senka me de ko kosua adwuma bebi a me de ne be ko bia no nipa no kra mpa so obegye no nti ama ye den mame no kra ye den mame pa tumi ye den mame ana me busa nyankopon kra se boni bi na same ana ne papa ayana akoba ne akwala ndo innocent nti nko hu ne mabono mfa nche no.
Consultant plastic surgeon and director of the National Plastic Surgery and Burn Center at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ampoma Opokuwari, however, explains the causes of the condition, debunking assertions by some people that it is spiritual.
The fact is that for many of these cases that we are seeing, these are people who have waited for so long because of the other financial, other concerns. Sometimes maybe, of course, some traditional beliefs, exactly, because people say, well, so this one is a spiritual problem, it is that, all kinds of things that they are told. So they don't present to the right experts early. Unfortunately, some of them also go to some place, but because people don't know where to refer them to, because not everybody is aware of what the centers like this can do.
The tumors, according to him, can develop anywhere in one's nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and nerves.
Neurofibromatosis is a condition that in which these abnormal growths occur in these nerves, because the nerves are supposed to be of certain dimension. Okay, they are like cables. Okay, and unfortunately, some elements in these nerves start growing abnormally, so they start forming swellings, which sometimes become nodules, like lumps, okay, that you feel. And then these lumps sometimes can grow to the extent that they become very big, and then they start causing deformities. And then sometimes they get into the skin as well, and they cause some color changes within the skin. Okay, so that's what neurofibromatosis is.
Neurofibromatosis is not curable, but according to Dr. Opokuwari Ampoma, when reported and diagnosed early, the growing tumors can be controlled for the tumors not to grow bigger.
So it is not something that has a cure as such, okay, but it is controlled. So usually, unfortunately, because of financial constraints, many people wait till it becomes so large and so extensive before they report to us. But usually, if they report to us early, then it can be monitored, and then it can be debunked from time to time.
In 2016, the National Reconstructive Plastic Surgery and Burn Center at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital recorded 28 neurofibromatosis cases at its OPD. 17-year-old Adiza now needs 15,000 Ghana cedis to undergo surgery to correct the defect on her left leg for her to be able to go back to school, and her plea is for benevolent individuals and institutions to support her in this regard.
Sometimes we just say, "Sayamina edibo me nkopan me bua fuma me na omboa me na me nine enko." Pesa Ghana for emboa me na munya me nine mami. Ntumi nko school.
Oh, yeah, baby. Until she receives help, she will remain a school dropout with her dream of being a lawyer or doctor cut short. Alice Aite, GHOne News.
And God does love a cheerful giver. So if you are in a position to help, just come to GHOne TV studios and your support will reach poor Adiza. We're bringing you business stories now. An executive chairman of GHOne Capital says GHOne has called on government to initiate deliberate policies that would help attract business investments into the country. He said the rise in corruption reported cases, land litigation, and an ineffective judicial system is disincentive enough to scare away investors, hence the need to empower these state institutions to address such challenges.
Indeed, investors make reference to publications such as the Corruption Perception Index for guidance when they are making their decisions. In the 2000 index, Ghana ranked 70 out of 176 countries, dropping 4 points from 47 to 43, our lowest since 2012. In this regard, recent allegations of corruption in the judiciary and the legislature were hugely unhelpful. Ladies and gentlemen, the presence of a fair, efficient, reliable, and independent judicial system is absolutely critical. Every investor wants the assurance that in the event of disputes over contracts, they would have a fair hearing and justice expeditiously administered. I'm afraid our justice system is fraught with unending litigation, legal gymnastics, avoidable costs, red tape, etc., etc. Ladies and gentlemen, land is key. Land plays a crucial role in all investments. Our land administration system has been in a state of confusion for years. It is one of the few agencies that has still defied the digital age. I'm told that at least three different attempts by the World Bank funded programs to modernize and digitize land records and administration have failed woefully.
Now, robbery attacks at mobile money joints appear to rise, at least in Accra. Both merchants and subscribers fall prey to fraudsters who trick them for their money. The lax security systems of mobile money transactions and merchant shops created fertile grounds for such attacks. In the following report, Della Michelle chronicles stories of victims who have lost their money to fraud or mobile money attacks.
Mobile money has become one of the fastest growing businesses since its inception in 2009. The platform records over 6.2 million active users, creating jobs for more than 72,000 active agents nationwide. The convenience of a transaction is believed to be the catalyst for this exponential growth in mobile money usage. The convenience, however, is also making way for fear. Dozens of vendors have either suffered robbery attacks or fallen prey to tricksters. In very recent history, 2 people died at Odorkor Buzia Junction after robbers opened fire on bystanders after robbing mobile money merchant Frankman's Ventures Mobile Money. Dorcas Esioku is the merchant who was robbed.
Na me say I dey style no why bata no so onye fitan dey be obodan funti oba na odu ha say no vision so be den still on kasa na obie me gate no bon start so o ma so ebie na me say mpa cho ye den no nti obie no ye mu hye me na metiam po no de ne nsa ba ko no baaye na obie ye nti ne nsa ba ko no de kan na okuratuo nti me hutu na me mu hye na metiam Jesus nti eno me wura bi wo ha say no aba na o si Dorcas ade na wotiam nti wura mu so obehwa ade ko na papa ne ma won shooting ndo mi run no wantwe no kranka etuo ne kan no afa ndo mi run no so kwotena ase no oba me so inside o say me ye di me kan wan we na me say me ka me pa chop no shootu ye bob no say me san kasa bi ma obe shootu mi ankasa nti me nda ho na me da ho eno mo fa me bag no na mo say scan na agu nti o say scan agu me bag no na enyama wo mu ti ankom no train drawer ba ko na do ko ba me da for me sorry and me sorry answer me say mo shootu obi da nim ho a ono so
Dorcas is perhaps the untenth vendor to suffer this fate. There is no indication she will be the last, a thought that bothers her boss, Frank Safo Mensah. He plans on increasing security.
Henceforth, at least we try and close early, and we make sure that every time our door is secured, and we are going to improve with our security this burglar-proof thing, so that no one can easily come into it and do whatever the person he or she likes.
Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Efia Tenga says the issue with mobile money operations has become a challenge. She also assured the police has taken steps to involve major regulatory bodies as well as the telecommunication networks to find permanent solutions.
You sometimes find some of them displaying monies carelessly. I remember I saw one who had just drawn money from the packet and, counting. When you do this, if the person is not even a criminal, the person sees that, the person would want to take it. So we advise that we should be careful the way we handle money. The police, we can do our bit, but maybe it will not be enough. So we are also looking at identifying the stakeholders, which of course is in the process. We all sit down and find out how best we can all tackle the issue. Maybe when we all go into a meeting, it will yield some profitable results. That is what we expect.
Ifeatinge cautioned that vendors should be mindful of their dealings, a piece of advice they will not take lightly. They shared a few ideas.
Police officials, they came around to take our numbers, that this is the issue on ground, so they have to take our numbers so that they will know if there's any issue, we call them. But I don't think that will be, because I work here from morning to evening. So by that time, who am I going to call? I can't call anybody that there's a problem at hand.
Formally, I don't close early, but because of those incidents, I used to close early now. And I check to the time which people are not, which people are around. I close that time. Actually, for me like this, normally I don't pass one route when I'm going home. I pass different routes when I'm going home.
National news.
At least 20 people have been killed in fighting between rival militias around the international airport in Libya's capital Tripoli. The clashes between rival armed groups forced the suspension of flights at Meitiga Air Base, Tripoli's only functioning international airport. Reports say at least 5 aircrafts have apparently suffered damage from gunfire. Libya's government of national accord said the attack was an attempt by one armed faction to release their members being held by a rival group. Tripoli has been riven by violence since the revolution in year 2011. 3 Congolese soldiers have been killed while repelling an attack in the eastern Beni region by Ugandan Islamist Allied Democratic Forces, that's the ADF rebels, who are accused of killing 14 UN peacekeepers from Tanzania in December. Over the weekend, DR Congo announced an offensive against the group, which was created in the 1990s to oppose Ugandan's President Yoweri Museveni's rule. The Ugandan army has been conducting airstrikes and attacks against the group.
And it's time for us to bring you some sports news, and we've got highlights from the English Premier League, that game between Manchester United and Stoke City.
sea, raise the dead. Everything that you have asked is great.